All right, welcome back. Joe Harrison is our guest state representative, and of course he represents a large part of our viewing audience here on HTV. I want to switch gears a little bit because you were put to chair a task force on the BP claims.
That's right.
And you've been very active in that. But another thing is that the state was poised, or did receive a lot of money on a different thing, and the percentages in this area not too big. What happened on that deal?
No, they're not. And the announcement was made in New Orleans at the port a little over 2 weeks ago that the potential monies that the state will receive from the fines of BP are well in excess of $500 million a year. We unfortunately, in the list that they read to the press at that time from the governor's office, indicated that Jefferson Parish, St. Bernard, Plaquemine, Lafourche, and Terrebonne were pretty much grouped in together, and then West Louisiana and some money actually going north, which we don't quite understand that, and we're challenging that. But the final word comes down to, and it was said by the governor even, BP. These are monies that will be received by the state for 10 or more years spread out, which is a real help to us for our coastal erosion, and also trying to bring back the oil industry and the jobs to the state of Louisiana, which later on I'll mention that about the big events that are going to happen in the next couple of weeks with Fletcher and Nicholls and BP. But BP's right here in Terrebonne Parish. Mm-hmm. And if you're giving your money out, you want to take care of your region. And I think that's one of the things that we're hopeful we can sit down with the administration, readjust those particular issues that we talked about, put more money into our barrier reefs, into some of our major projects, but most of all to put money into our local educational community, who is now going to be serving as the certification process, the new certification that the federal government's coming down for all field, possibly all over the globe.
I know you've been heavy-handed on it and been really trying to dig up the improprieties of all this stuff, but has the dirty hand of politics infiltrated so deep to where now the money's supposing to be dealt out or being pokered out in political areas, so to speak?
Yeah, well, it's like a Blu-ray game, and all you have is a 2 and a 3 for your card. I guess it's like anything else. You got to present what you think is the best program, and hopefully they understand that. Again, it goes back to what we said earlier: lowest unemployment, biggest revenue driver to the state of Louisiana is our region. Very proud of that. And the governor has played a hand in it. I want to give him his just due, but you need to start paying for success and stop putting money into areas that have failed time after time after time. Mm-hmm. Lafourche and Terrebonne are successful parishes. They're successfully run, and we need to put the money here.
Okay, well, good. We'll keep an eye on that for sure. Let's. What are some of the other points that you, before we take some phone calls and let the public ask a few questions, what else would you think was significant and bring us into that?
Well, everyone was concerned about Nicholls last year when there was a lot of rumors about what was going on with our university here, which is very important to us. Nicholls is now going to have a brand new culinary institute, which we're very happy with. The governor provided us with the funding for the land. Now we have the money for the building. We have broken ground on that, and we're moving very quickly on it. We should be ranked in the top 5 in the United States in a very short period of time. Although we're in that group now, but for the kind of facility, state-of-the-art facility, and hopefully start having cooking shows right there in their amphitheater through your system to be able to tell the people of the United States how great our food is, as they know, but also kind of premier our seafood industry, which we depend on in this area. Fletcher is getting their new facility. BP is working with us right now and building a second portion of that on the back end, putting up a tremendous amount of money in excess of $4 million. We're trying to partner that up with the state. That'll expand.
So I want to say this: it's not that because BP's been beat up and beat up
Yeah.
and beat up, and we know they did wrong, but they didn't run away. I got to always give them credit. They never said we didn't do it. They're putting money up. It's just when it gets caught in the political process that it gets spoked out everywhere. But they're anteing up some money, aren't they?
They absolutely are. That was one of the big issues on this particular money that's coming out now, is that when I was in Washington and met with our congressional delegation there, I said, we want to make sure that the fine is allocated to the people who are most injured, and that's the state of Louisiana. The president made a statement that he was going to segregate the money between 5 states equally. Well, I don't think Florida nor Texas was injured at all.
No.
And for them to receive an equal share is totally, off base, and we're going to fight that.
That's
and we
about
are.
as bad a politics as you get right there.
Oh gosh, that's gamesmanship in election year.
That's arrogant right there, if you ask me. But anyway, so they are putting it, so naturally some economic development is on the horizon here.
Yes, sir. And quickly on our school system, K through 12, proud to say that Lafourche, Terrebonne, Assumption, St. Mary area rank very high in the grading systems, have done very, very well. I take a lot of pride in what they have done because that's one of my pet peeves is education. If we can educate our kids.
Your wife is a
Yeah,
principal.
well, you go to bed with a principal every night, you got to make sure you're doing it. Do your homework.
You're right.
The single board issue for higher education, I voted against because I didn't think that Nicholls State University was going to come out to where we would get the money allocated to us according to how well we did. Mm-hmm. I thought that we should divide our universities into 3 segments, one being the research universities, that'd be USL or ULL. Mm-hmm. UNO is a research university, and LSU. And then the rest of the universities, let's dissolve the other systems, put it into one system, because you have to only compare your universities with like universities. And our regional universities like Nicholls and Southeastern, McNeese, Southern, those universities should all have the same rules and regulations, not have to compete with an LSU. So we're re-gearing that for next year, and I think we're going to accomplish that.
Yeah,
and make
it's
it very
hard to
successful.
compete with an LSU. I mean, that's just an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
They don't let it do it. They don't put them in the same division in athletics.
Well,
So-
exactly.
so
We use
why
that
would-
same analogy. I
Yeah.
said, well, we're going to send the Nicholls football team up to play LSU this year.
Right.
I said, we do very well in baseball. We beat them once this year already. But we need to compare apples with apples, and it's a fight for the money, and they like to skew the numbers, but we made sure that didn't happen this year.
Well, good. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We are going to the phone lines, 879-1231. Call Joe up, ask him a question. You know how it works on Bayou Time, and he'll be glad to take some calls and then throw in some more of his findings there in the session this year. So when we come back, phone lines are open, 879-1231. We'll be right back.